for factories, for farms, for first graders. Everything from applesauce to X-ray machines, from guided missiles to mousetraps. Rolling in an 11,000-pound metal container, bigger than the average living room, with strength to withstand shock and strain that would crack the average passenger car like an eggshell. Open her up, fill her up. There'll be nothing unusual about this load. A solid, compact, 43,000 pounds. Carried to its destination over any kind of terrain, through any kind of weather, by a 15,000-pound powerhouse. Hook her up. This is your baby. She's so well developed, you have to weigh her in sections. With only 1 foot on the scale, she weighs over 30,000 pounds. She dwarfs everything on the road with her size, power, and weight. 72,000 pounds. Over 35 tons. You can drive her through the eye of a needle or through a brick wall. It's up to you, the driver. It takes only a moment of carelessness, an instant of impatience, to cut it up, reshape it, turn it into a killer. But you're bigger than this killer, heavier, a lot faster, and just as deadly. Every second you're at the wheel of your rig, you must face the possibility that you can be a carrier,
How do you do, sir? May I help you?
You sure can. I'll trade this car for that truck.
or a killer. Most of you who drive the nation's 14 million trucks are professionals. Professionals in every sense of the word. Most of you, but not all of you. There's a big difference between the professional driver and the fellow who drives a truck just to earn a good living. And it shows, off the highway as well as on.
Hi there. What do you say, fella? How's she going?
Pretty good. Well, take it easy now.
Yeah,
See you again.
I guess I owe you some money here.
Which one do you wear? The driver's cap or the killer's helmet? Let's follow them. It's easy to spot the professional driver. He cares about everything he does. That's the big difference between the pro and the drive for pay guy who doesn't care about anything, even himself. He usually has a bad safety record, but he doesn't give a damn. Oh, no, none of those accidents were his fault. The pro realizes his safety record tells what kind of job he's doing. But some drivers don't worry about the job as long as the paychecks keep rolling in. They won't take time To hell with it. It's just a job. Roll that rig. That's what they're paid for. Get the load there one way or the other. But that is not the professional way. It was quite a banquet.
And remember that a safe driver accepts his responsibility to his profession, his company, his family, and above all to himself. And now, for the highlight of the evening, the presentation of the first place truck driving safety award to the driver who has done all these things in an outstanding manner, Jack Domer. And I hope you win another one at the rodeo next week.
Thank you, Mr. Dearman. I'll certainly try.
And what a rodeo, challenging the best. Even though the only thing he won was the admiration of his family, friends, and fellow drivers. But don't think he wasn't proud to be competing with some of the top drivers in the country. Funny that the most skilled drivers are also the most cautious, the ones with the best safety records, the ones who take the most pride in their profession. Sure, the hours are long, but the pay is high. And good drivers are hard to come by. And losing a good driver is a setback to any company. But a real pro won't take a chance on being lost, suspended, fired, or worse. He knows about defensive driving, and it makes sense. He's heard, too, but it's not for him. A real pro knows that watching out for the other fellow is the best way of taking care of himself. The pro drives only as far as he can see, and no faster than he can handle his truck. He knows that hard driving doesn't get him there any sooner, only makes it harder to get there. A pro does all these things and more every second he's behind the wheel, because he is a professional road driver, not a professional killer. That nut's gonna lose his tarp. Look at it flap. Look at it flap. Let it flap. It flap. Flap. This is one way of looking out for the other fellow. How many times have you passed scenes like this? No use stopping. It's too late for that boy. The tarp wasn't lost. He made sure of it. Take a close look. He doesn't look like a killer, does he? But he is. He is the killer and the victim. He was the only one to receive a scratch. No, you're wrong. He was wearing white shorts. At least he won't hear any more about defensive driving. He won't hear anything. And his safety record won't contain any more chargeable accidents. He's had his last. He didn't care about anything, even himself. Maybe he wouldn't even care about this.
Well, I sure wish I'd known you were running today. Well, I'll see you when you get back. And please.
I know. I'll be careful today.
Jim, your bag!
I'll be back to get it as soon as I check in with dispatch.
Get your partner.
Yeah. You're out.
Morning, men.
Morning, Jim. Guess where we're going?
Not back to Chicago again, are we?
And probably to Detroit.
Yeah, Charlie says the road and weather conditions all right.
Well, that's fine. Let's get her checked out and get going.
You learn fast. You make you a good driver.
Yeah.
I see. Well, you want to drive first?
We may as well start off with our best.
Hi there. Look, Jim, if you couldn't drive a truck, you wouldn't be working here. Attitude behind that wheel is just as important.
You mean mental attitude is what makes a good driver?
Right, and don't you forget it.
Like charity, safety begins at home, at the terminal.
Lights. Right turn. Left turn. Stop light.
If you're going across country or even across town, know the road conditions before you leave the dispatcher's office. And know the condition of your truck before you leave the yard. This includes emergency equipment. If something is defective or missing, you're the one who has to live with it, or possibly die with it.
The old fox hasn't had a charge more than 20 years. A real pro.
You always say safety is just being nice to people around you, but it seems so simple.
It isn't simple. But if you practice it every time you step into a tractor, you'll always be sure of stepping out.
Sounds good, Al. I'll give it some thought between here and Mansfield.
Uh-oh, Jim. Look at him weave. Let's ride along. Instead of driving 10 and sleeping 8, he's driven maybe 15. Now he's dog-tired. His reflexes have turned to molasses, and this makes him a potential killer. Slow-moving motorists, returning from church, all thoughts on the picnic. His company doesn't want him to press. His family doesn't want him to press. But he is. Oh, he has a reason, and he's staking his life on it, and the lives of others. Fatigue has drained his judgment. He tells himself he's all right when he's not fighting to stay awake. Too close. Stay awake. Fatigue is a killer. Stay back. You're not a carrier. you're a killer. Brake! 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 He never knew what hit him, or what he hit. When he realized what was happening, his legs were made of stone. Now he can sleep forever. Thou shalt not kill with a gun or a steering wheel. A young family wiped out by a sleepy killer who pressed toward them even while they knelt in church. Plan your pass in advance, Jim. Stay at least 6 trailer lengths behind until you're ready to make your move. That's it, Jim. Make sure he knows you're behind him and intend to pass. If you don't, he might panic when you appear out of nowhere, and this could spell trouble. Give him plenty of room. Don't cut him off. That's it. A clean pass. It takes all kinds of people to make a world, and every one of them can drive a car. How many times has a motorist floored it when you're starting to pass? Even a cornered mouse will fight. She thinks she's cornered. She's fighting. Don't depend on her breaking off, Jim. Your size scares her. Let her go, Jim. Your presence scares them. They'd rather be ahead of you than behind you. You look as big as a mountain. When passing you, they're tense, cocked, hair triggers. You know the ones, smiling nervously, talking rapidly. They're whistling in the dark because they're afraid. Here she comes, Jim. Go on the defensive. Give her as much room as possible in case she takes more than her share. And she is. Give a little, Jim. Give her plenty of time to get her car under control. When they're stacked up behind you on public roads, pull over and let them pass. But remember, it's against the law to flag them around. You can help them drive, but let them make up their own minds. Believe in actions, not turn signals. Is it so simple, Jim? Being nice to them? If you believe in speed, flying now and paying later, payday might be sooner than you think. Their only protection is you. Your young victims, just around the next curve. No protection from your tremendous power. They didn't see the sign. Too late. The trucker received only superficial cuts on his face and arms. They will heal. He didn't mention the pain in his chest to hospital attendants. No medication would heal this. It will be with him always. The feeling that he is a killer. It will keep him awake at night. And during the day, the pain will be unbearable. Maintain control at all times. Test brakes periodically. At dawn and dusk, be constantly alert for school buses. Be a weatherman. Be constantly aware of road conditions. Remember that bridges freeze before the road. That an empty trailer will slide easier than a full one. Free as a bird. An empty trailer or running bobtail. No weight. A light tap on the brakes. They lock You slide. You're a dead duck. Unless you're lucky. The man in this car is not paid to spy on you, to trap you. The company puts men on the road to help you. Let them. That's the checker's job.
Hi, Jim.
Oh, Fred.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Good. How was your trip?
Good so far.
May I see your logbook?
Sure thing, Fred.
And the state puts men on the road to help you, too. Like riding on the back of an angel, Jim. Take care of the old fox. His life is in your hands, too. Even if the signals aren't going, your eyes and ears should be. Always assume the gun is loaded. Be alert for the jack-in-the-box. Stay away from traffic, and you'll stay away from accidents. But when in it, run with it. But not at the expense of motorists wanting to pass you. Use your turn signals. That's why you have them. Right-hand turns are always treacherous. Natural traps for the eager motorists, the unobservant motorists. Uh-oh, Jim. Good thing Al didn't see this. Remember, Jimmy boy, you're always in the spotlight, right or wrong. Your size in business makes you guilty in the eyes of the public.
Hey, Al. Al? Hey, you're up to bat. How about a cup of coffee?
Good idea. Say, you're improving. I must have slept all 10 minutes.
You know, your idea about being nice to drivers around you, I've given it some thought. I see what you mean. It isn't simple, but it's necessary as hell for safe driving.
That's a proper driver's attitude. Never forget it. Now, let's go have that car.
Back to this cross country. But you know what drives me nuts up here, these mountains in January?
Oh, it's not so much the
Idiots get
mountains.
stuck on these hills.
Oh, it's
up
these
here.
curves and these hills and...
How about that?
Well, I burned the wheels off of that darn truck get here to meet you one time. So what do you say we drink up and get out of here? I got a lot of time to make
That's
up.
all right with me. I lost $5 on that rotten pinball machine.
Well, I told you not to play the darn thing.
Well, wait till I finish my beer.
These are the boys who make it rough on everybody. A couple of beers, a few minutes of conversation, a pretty face, isn't worth dying for or killing for. Run alone, without Benny. Artificial stimulants can lead to an early grave. and pulling out into traffic without looking, especially at night. You're a prime target for a rear-end collision. You'll appear to be moving when you're just beginning to roll. Something like this can easily take place. Remember this every time you start your truck. Every second you're behind the wheel, the responsibility is yours. Be a carrier, not a killer.